I'm a little bit scared to talk about the first topic that listen, I don't really know what the why I'm scared. Like, I'm scared because I know a lot of people disagree, like, very strongly, but I don't really know why, which is why I have the opinion that I have. The opinion being, I don't know why it is such a big deal to fake a pregnancy, like, as an influencer or, like, a public figure or whatever. Maybe not a celebrity, because that's just a bit weird and unprofessional, but, like, as, like, you know, influencers who, like, basically made their entire, like, careers for themselves by a lot of, you know, I won't call them lies, but some of it is lies or, like, exaggerations of the truth, or, like, you know, just they've curated a life, essentially. So I don't understand why faking a pregnancy is that big of a deal. Because, okay, I watched a video a while back. It was of Tana Mojo on her cancelled podcast with Brooke Schofield. I think she was talking about somebody else who had faked a pregnancy or whatever, and she was like, do you know, like, how many times I could have faked a pregnancy? Like, I knew, like, you know, my views were low or whatever the fuck. I knew, like, this could bring in a bag, and I didn't do it because it would be so disrespectful. And I'm just a little bit confused. There are another two instances I want to talk about. First of all, I don't know if this is the video that Tana was talking about or whatever, but there was another video that a lot of people, you know, had reactions to. And it was a video of this YouTuber or whatever, basically, like, saying that she was pregnant and then saying that she had, like, lost the baby. And then which I understand is, like, an extra layer, and that might, but I'll get into it because, anyway, but she had, like, lost the baby, which she didn't have. And then at the end of, like, not even, the entire, like, I lost the baby video was just, like, JK, I literally was never pregnant. Y'all need to stop having, like, parasocial relationships with people. And that video was dumb. Like, it was not, but, like, I'm using it because it kind of relates, but she basically said, like, I was lying and y'all shouldn't have believed me. Like, it's really, you know, y'all believe me because you have a parasocial relationship with me and, like, all this. It was just not, like, she thought she ate, but she didn't, right? And it was a very not well done concept or videos or whatever, but we'll get into that after this last one, which is basically, like, when, again, years ago, David Dobrik and Liza Koshy, like, faked a pregnancy, like, what was, like, within, like, their friend group, right? It wasn't, like, an actual thing that they did to the audience. Like, they filmed them pranking their friends by saying that Liza was pregnant and then used that as, like, video content, but they didn't trick the masses into thinking that Liza was pregnant, right? So the only critique, I guess, of faking a pregnancy that I have heard is that it is insensitive to those who have, like, conceiving issues, like, can't conceive or have had, like, miscarriages and stuff like that. I just don't get it. There are, like, it kind of reminds me, like, it's kind of linked to, in my brain, like, when people make, like, this stupid little video, it's, like, a video of, like, somebody, like, let's say, picking up a box, and then as he picks up the box, it's, like, edited so that a spider jumps out of the box in the video, right? And then people are all up in the comments being like, y'all need to, like, I'm scared of spiders, like, I have arachnophobia, like, that's so insensitive. Like, that's kind of the vibes that I get. And the Tana Mojo thing especially just was very interesting to me because, like, out of all the shit that you've done, all of it, faking a pregnancy is the one line you're not willing to cross. I just don't get it. I guess faking a pregnancy and then faking a miscarriage, which is what the other girlie kind of did, that makes a lot more sense than, hey guys, I'm pregnant, actually JK, I was just trying to get the views. Like, I don't it's not connecting for me. Like, why can't people just fake being pregnant for a bag? But the second thing I want to talk about is Britney Broski. So there's multiple points under here that I'm gonna just try and go through. So Britney Broski was part of, like, the blockout, where people basically hunted down a list of people who, like, influencers who had not spoken about Palestine and, like, the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Britney Broski was on that list, and she basically lost a bunch of followers from it, as obviously. And so she posted a video, first of a video that she had posted publicly about this, and basically just saying, like, hey, I'm sure we've all been keeping up with, like, the Israel-Palestine situation, and, like, I just want to, like, denounce Israel and speak up, like, on my support for Palestine and stuff like that. And people were like, do we know? Because, like, have we been keeping it up? Like, we don't know if you know, because you haven't said anything, basically. And so, where some more issues come into play here is she posted like a video on her close friend's story basically saying like, why do I have to like speak up about this? Like, I know nothing, like I'm not educated, I am like the last person that we should try and like get an opinion on or like get to speak about this and stuff. But previously on her channel she had talked about the Roe v. Wade situation, and in that video, in that like part where she talked about it, she was just like, if you have a platform, like how dare you not speak up about it? Like how, like it is your duty as somebody with a large following, with a large platform, to speak up, or like not even a large, like with a platform, to speak up about it. Like how dare you not, basically. And so people were like, it's just interesting how you literally say you put yourself forward as an ambassador for basically everything, which is a bit of a risky move. But you basically said, we the influencers deserve, like, have the responsibility to talk about these issues. And then you're going to get mad because people expect you to talk about the issues. Like, that's just very interesting. And it's just giving, like, Taylor Swift white liberal feminist vibes, because she can talk about the Roe v. Wade situation because it affects her as a woman. But as a white woman, the Israel-Palestine situation doesn't affect her at all, and therefore gaff. My opinion on the entire thing is the blockout list, like that kind of like organized effort, a little extreme? Not necessarily. I mean, like, yeah, in a way, but like no, it's not, because like you could fucking block whoever you want, and if we all agree to block certain influence, like that's not like, you know, a massive, like, we're not taking time out of our days to really shove it in there. But it's like small things where it's like boycotting, you know what I mean? If we all just refuse to interact with this person, their wallets and their bank accounts suffer, and therefore they feel more inclined. I do get that, like, it is very difficult for influencers or anyone to keep up with everything. I think the thing is, though, the Israel-Palestine situation is so public, it is so well known. You know damn well, we all know damn well, everyone has fucking heard about it. Anyone who has a mobile device, a digital device, everyone's heard about it. It's kind of similar to like the Black Lives Matter protests. Like, not speaking up against police brutality was a little bit weird, because like we all knew damn well that like everyone had heard about it. And I watched a video that wasn't about Britney Broski, but it was about Hailey Bailey, who I might talk about some other time. But I watched a video where somebody basically said like, yeah, it's really hard for influencers to keep up with, you know, current world events and stuff like that. But I think, like, you know, it's not a bad thing to try and, like, get them to participate more, to get them to try and research more, to get them to try and, like, ground themselves in reality more and not just live in their little influencer bubble, basically. Which actually is a really good point that I hadn't thought about. Before I was a little bit like, it's a bit extra. Like, why are we so incredibly mad at people for not speaking up about something that, you know, they might not have the exposure to like, fully be give an educated, responsible statement about. But after that, that makes a lot of sense. I think it is really important to make sure that influencers know that they need to, I don't know, be aware of what's happening. But then this also led to a lot of other issues that I found people having an issue with Britney Broski. I don't know if that was a proper sentence that I said. I then found out more issues that people had with Britney Broski. The next one being constantly drooling over men, like having like her, you know, her white boy of the week situation. I don't watch her podcast that much, so I really tried with her content, bro. I really did. I really wanted to like find her funny and enjoy her content, but I did like that. This was one of the main reasons I couldn't. Every video was about men, and some people made the point that it's like, you know, the same way that men objectify women all the time, she's doing the same to them, you know. She's fighting fire with fire. But, like, is she, though? Is she? Because, first of all, men very rarely get validation. They very rarely get complimented. So I feel like, if anything, her drooling and fucking hyperventilating and, like, being in fucking heat, is just kind of, you know, it's not doing what she thinks it's doing. I don't even know if she thinks it's doing that, but like it's not doing what her fans think it's doing. They just feel hyped at this point, you know what I mean? So it's not working. It's not working. It's like this like reverse objectification situation. And it's also like every video, like it's just really, I don't know, it doesn't feel like she's trying to like get back at men. It just feels like she's boy crazy. And we've all had a boy crazy friend, and it's never been a pleasant experience. Next, I would like to be talking about basically like the podcast situation. So for her interview podcast thing, which is like the royal, I don't know, she's in a castle, but she's only ever invited one woman, and it's Drew Afualo. All the other guests that she's had have been like men, and the thing with Drew as well, like they're friends, as like she's a friend of Britney as well as being like an influencer. So I feel like it feels like zero woman, really. It feels like no woman have been on her podcast, because Drew had to like do extra steps. She had to be friends with her and be famous, you know what I mean? Britney has also only ever been on male podcasts as the interviewee, like ever, and Trisha Paytas and Tana Mojo had both asked her to be on their podcast, and she said no. Tana basically talked about, you know, her asking Britney to be on the podcast. She like DM'd her, and Britney was like, I would love to, but my friends would stab and grill me on a campfire if I did. And Tana was like, why? And then Britney never responded. Like, first, which I don't think is a great story. Like a standalone, because like as the way that Tana took it, because like, girl, first of all, you know exactly why, because you're problematic as fuck. Be so for real. Like, I know that you've had, you know, a comeback and that like everyone's forgotten, but you're still problematic as fuck. And the next time that you do something, which I think she fucking will, because when has she, you know, just been unproblematic? Like, she'll probably fucking do something again. The entire, like, you know, internet being, like, forgiving her is very likely temporary. Or maybe, like, especially TikTok, they're just, the people on there, the masses on there are a little, they're a little bit not there. I understand a lot of them are children, but they're just not particularly there. They're willing to take everything they see on TikTok at face value and not really investigate further or like take in new information to challenge previously obtained information. But which is why I think Candace Owens and like HRH Collection are like absolutely popping off. Because the amount of people, like, videos I've seen of, like, Candace Owens, like, making one good point, and then everyone's like, oh my god, like, Candace Owens, like, why do I agree with Candace Owens? And then there'll be, like, one comment, which is still, like, one of the top comments will be like, yeah, Candace Owens has always slayed. No, she hasn't. You're just, like, homophobic. Same with HRH Collection. She'll be like, I personally hate being fat, and that's got nothing to do with y'all. And people are like, yeah, period, because they, you know, are probably young girls who struggle with their bodies, but, like, she is not a good person, and she definitely doesn't make it her own problem. She makes it everyone's problem. Then when, you know, they get information like, hey, Candace Owens is actually a really bad person, or HRH Collection is actually a really bad person, they're like, no gaff, because they're queens, and I love them, ya slay. That was a bit of a tangent that had nothing to do with this. Let me stay back on track. So, as a standalone little from Tana's perspective, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. But, you know, with the context of everything else, it should have nothing to, like, Britney did not have a valid point. It should have nothing to do with how problematic she is, because she's been on podcasts with problematic people. She's been on, like, the Zayn and Heath podcast. She's been with Ethan Klein. She's been with, like, problematic men. Like, yeah, like, it might have been, like, a while since they, like, with Ethan Klein, it's been a while since he's been problematic. But same with Tana, it's been a while since she's been seen as problematic. Oh, she's also been on the Cody podcast, but that was before the allegations came out. And then the allegations did come out. Actually, before I get into that, I want to talk about, so basically, Britney herself had said that, like, women are held to, like, higher standards than men in regards to, like, problematic behavior. And so, like, if you're a woman, you need to, like, you know, really, like, be on your best behavior, whereas, like, as a man, like, you could just be a little bit silly, a little bit goofy, you know what I mean? And so now she's, like, demonstrating that, like, she is a perpetrator of that. Like, she could be on, like, podcasts with problematic men, but not problematic women. So it just seems like another example of, again, like, white woman, liberal feminism, Taylor Swift vibes of, like, I could just say really nice sounding things. I can say things that sound like they're corroborating, you know, our overall goal and the statement and what we are standing for. But actually, I'm going to do absolutely nothing with my actions. Anyway, back to the Cody Co situation. I think she's done, like more than one collab with Cody Co. And so after the allegations came out, she said in a statement, I think on an Instagram story, like something along the lines of, I'm devastated as a longtime fan. If it's true, then it's disgusting. And people think it's really unlikely that she didn't know, because A, she's so chronically online. Like, that's her entire thing. Like, she's very, like, by the people for the people, you know what I mean? Like, she is so incredibly chronically online, and apparently she's a longtime fan. Like, the allegations have been floating around for a while now. Apparently she's been getting comments from other people about it, and apparently Cody has also been getting a decent number of comments under his stuff for a while as well. But whenever this is brought up, her fans just get really defensive, and say that people are focusing too much on Britney and not enough on Cody, which I don't think so. Like, no, Cody's the problem, but we're also going to focus on, like, who supports, you know, Gabby Hanna situation. Curtis, I fucking forgot his name, like, O'Neill? The fucking rapey Vine bitch. He's the problem. We're also just gonna hold Gabby Hanna accountable because she has consistently doubled down on being a rape apologist and has never apologized for that, has never supported her best friend, who was the one who got raped. And not only did she it was convicted, like, he took a plea deal in court. Do you know how hard it is to get any sort of sexual assault case into court? That's crazy. And not even into court. Guilty. Found guilty. Anyway, I definitely will talk about this another time, because that actually fucks me off, because Gabby Hanna is another person who's, like, been on her redemption arc recently. For no reason. She's not a better person now. She's just gone through an episode, like a manic episode, or some sort of, like, mental breakdown, which, again, like, some people think are fake. So it's like, people who think it's fake, people who think it's real, they're all coming together that, hey, even if it is fake, let's just treat it like it's real. She really needs help. We need to feel bad for her. And now this is, like, her redemption arc, just, like, being mentally unwell. No, she's still a shit cunt. She's never apologized for being a rape apologist for the rapist of her best fucking friend, apparently. And just being such a shit cunt who's, like, so incredibly selfish and egotistical and, like, self-centered. Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, that's the haps. That's all I want to talk about in this video today, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!